each other. It was nice to hear that Judge Samuelson's wife had advice for him today. My wife had advice for me too. She said, "Now be careful, don't ramble on too much. You sometimes like to talk a lot." So I'm going to be as concise as I can. I wrote some detailed notes, so I stick to the script, and we will present our legal innovators. I am Tom Watson. I'm with Wisconsin Lawyers Mutual Insurance Company, but I'm here today representing the Communications Committee. Each year we take nominations for innovation in the legal profession. This is a big deal because, and I think it's a big deal for the profession too, because, boy, if we didn't realize how important change and innovation is before the pandemic, we certainly know now. This is really important, I think, that we recognize these innovators. And part of the idea, too, is we want to tell their stories, not only to the bar, but to the public in general. It might inspire others in our profession to innovate, and that all leads to great things, better client service, and just a better overall profession for all of us. So we're really excited every year to do this. So thanks for the time that we have today. I know you have a busy agenda, but I think this is a great way for us to help tell the stories of the innovators. I want to also recognize the incredible work of the State Bar staff. Recently retired Joyce Hastings, Peter Kramer, Joe Forward, Carly Lester. There are so many. Without them, our work would not be possible. So thanks to the State Bar and its staff. I mentioned, the whole idea of disruptors in our profession. They were there before the pandemic. They're here now. And what these innovators have taught us, if anything, is, I hate that term outside the box, but really that's what they do. They look at different ways to do this, and we benefit. Everybody benefits, including clients. This is our 8th year of the program. We've had some extraordinary innovators over the past 7 years. And this year, we certainly have not had any shortage of equally talented and impressive innovators and professionals that we looked at. So we have 5 programs today that we want to recognize, and also a Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And so let's get to it quickly here. One way or another, I think it's clear that these innovators have led to better client services and better overall ways of doing things and looking at our jobs. The first innovator is Megan Ellage. She was a staff attorney in the State Department of Health Services at the time. She was inspired to do something in the early days of the pandemic to address what she saw as barriers to equity and inclusion in healthcare opportunities that disproportionately affected Black, Native American, other populations in Wisconsin. And, she looked at this, and rather than say, well, there's not much I can do about that, she started to think, maybe there is something I can do. It led to her helping in the creation of the Office of Health Equity. Now, the Office of Health Equity helps raise awareness, build culture and infrastructure, provide leadership. They form new partnerships. They did all kinds of stuff, both internally and externally, retention and recruitment, workplace culture, made a lot of changes. And the idea was to focus on minority health and how minority health was moved into this new office with better ways to serve people, better ways for people to access the system. It was really a pipeline for just better services overall. Megan is in California now. She was unable to be with us today, but Cecilia Kulp, I believe, is here to accept the award on her behalf. Cecilia, if you want to come up and take the award, and congratulations to Megan.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Kulp. I'm a Senior Health Equity Advisor in the Division of Public Health at the Department of Health Services. I am very honored to accept this award on behalf of my esteemed colleague and friend, Megan Ellage. I had the fortune of supporting Megan's work at the Department of Health Services to improve the infrastructure within our agency to better support racial and health equity initiatives, more specifically her work in creating our new Office of Health Equity. Through this experience, I've had the privilege of witnessing what a tireless, brilliant, and compassionate advocate, colleague, and person Megan truly is. She cares deeply about the people of this state and is a true embodiment of talking the talk and walking the walk. Countless times, I witnessed her make the choice to be collaborative and thoughtful about a plan or strategy, ensuring that we had a comprehensive approach to an issue that was informed by consensus and centered the voices of individuals with lived experiences with systemic marginalization, racism, and oppression, even if it meant she later had to go above and beyond with her own time to make up for that choice in order to still fulfill the bureaucratic requirements of efficiency and expediency. Megan identified early on how important it would be to create a sustainable and well-resourced office to advance equity work at the Department of Health Services. She was prescient enough to realize that creating a new office would embed a positive infrastructure within the department that both creates a path to inclusion for people seeking employment at DHS, as well as a path to health equity for the people of Wisconsin that we strive to serve. Despite having a full-time job as an attorney at DHS, and in the midst of a global pandemic, she managed to put in countless hours of work on top of her day job to ensure the success of these efforts. Her sharp legal mind allowed her to balance looking at both the big picture and the minute details, guaranteed that the plans were ironclad with no loopholes, and maintained a strong focus on seeking justice for Wisconsin's most marginalized populations. Megan has set the bar high. It's a lawyer joke. I'm not a lawyer. Megan has set the bar high for what it means to be an innovative legal mind in this state. Where others see an obstacle, Megan sees opportunity for creative thinking, redesigning archaic systems, and building new ones that meet people where they're at and will more effectively serve the diverse communities throughout our state. I am honored to know her and to have worked with her and admire her deeply. This is incredibly well-deserved. Congratulations, Megan, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Cecilia. All right, let's talk about legal tune-ups. What do they say? There's an app for everything, right? Well, Legal Tune-Up is an app. It was created by the social justice initiative Lift Wisconsin. What is Lift Wisconsin? Legal Interventions for Transforming Wisconsin. It's free legal help for people completely swallowed up by the maze that oftentimes is our legal system. It's a collaborative effort led by Director Marcia Mansfield. It was developed on behalf of Wisconsin residents who have criminal or eviction records that prevent them from accessing employment or housing opportunities. The app gives residents a chance really to clear their records, move forward with their lives, enabling them to find publicly available, but very tricky to access sometimes, data in state and county databases. The app then allows them to create and file the needed paperwork. So for the average citizen, really what it does is it helps make their data and information accessible and usable, and it undoubtedly made a difference in the lives of many, many people. Marcia Mansfield could not be here today, but members of the Lift Wisconsin team are here. John Danforth, Mitch, and Stacia Keneally are here to accept the award. Folks, you want to come up and receive your award, and congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. Hi there. I am Stacia Conley. I'm the manager of the local legal action office and one of the collaborators in Lift Wisconsin who created the legal tune-up tool. I have with me my colleague John Danforth from the Employment and Training Association of Dane County. Excuse me, hold on. I always cough after I take my mask off. Lift would like to thank the Communications Committee and the State Bar for this recognition. As Tom said, Lift stands for Legal Interventions for Transforming Wisconsin. We combine legal help with access to employment services. We have had wonderful collaborators in our quest for this tech tool. In addition to our team at Legal Action, EATA, UW Law School, and the Center for Patient Partnerships, we have received money that gave us time to work on this from Schmidt Futures, guidance from Jeff Brown at the State Bar. You all know he's always amazing and helpful, and the wonderful staff at the Institute for Research on Poverty. Sometimes our LIFT team talks about our origin story, right? Like we've all known, many of us have known each other for over a decade. And we came together in a coffee shop in Madison, trying to figure out ways to collaborate and think of new ways to meet the needs of our target population. We all came with the belief that everyone deserves access to legal help. I'll give a shout out here to Vicky Selko, who's not with our team anymore, but still collaborating with us, who brought us all together that day. We discussed how public data is being used by employers, educational groups, and landlords to deny our client population housing, educational opportunities, and jobs. So most of us can access driver's license records or arrest records for a fee, something many Wisconsin residents don't know is happening or don't know how, or they can't afford to do something like that. And the systems are really outdated and confusing. And most people don't know where to begin to fix some errors in those records. We have found that these systems are also often fearful of innovation and doing something different than how we've always done it is a difficult leap for some places to take. We know, though, that these systems, they're not working for our community. So we wanted LIFT to be a place to begin for those in the community. This is even more relevant now as we hear stories of there not being enough qualified workers or so little available housing, making getting an apartment competitive, especially in Milwaukee and Madison. LIFT is working to expand our tool to meet other needs of our communities, as we hear from clients and community groups using the tool. We are really want to thank you for this recognition and feel honored to be here with all these other great innovators and with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now let's talk about a technology upgrade for a better public defender system. Joe Keeler is the Information Technology Director in the State Public Defender's Office. Rather than just making sure that the agency's computer system and the network was working, he went beyond that. He recognized that there was a need to improve public defender services, and he used his technological skills to make that happen. What he did was Joe led a large-scale technology and services upgrade that included pilot projects for automatic calendaring, syncing, providing storage and access for criminal e-discovery. The automatic syncing tool assists staff attorneys who face a high volume of hearings and challenges that involve organizing and reconciling their calendars and helping clients in many other ways. Joe's team also spearheaded a very seamless process for downloading and accessing large amounts of criminal e-discovery data. Joe, in talking to him, he couldn't be here today, but he really deflects credit. He says he didn't make these things up. He just put the ideas together and came up with solutions. He's a humble guy, and he and his team did a wonderful job helping the public defender office really move into the modern age where they really provide excellent service for their clients. As I said, Joe couldn't be here today, but he did send us a statement of acceptance, and I just wanted to read his statement for you because I want you to know what he was thinking. He wrote, "The State Public Defender Organization is a vital service and the pandemic has put a big strain on us and our clients. So this recognition is extra meaningful. I understand that the justice system and our partners in the private bar are also dealing with the challenges of electronic discovery, and I'm always willing to meet with folks to share my experience and technology expertise in the domain. So congratulations to Joe. I'm sorry he can't be here, but we will make sure he gets his award. Let's give him a round of applause. All right, we have another award winner that has to do with the State Public Defender's Office. It's Chris Lang. Chris is a video mitigation specialist with the SPD office. What does that title mean? Well, he films defendants and people close to them as they describe their backstories. The goal here is to humanize them in the eyes of the judges and jurors. The videos that Chris puts together add a new dimension to the public defender's work. It underscores the fact that defendants are people too. And, you know, it also highlights that they have a past that really might help explain some of what has happened. It certainly is a way to tell their stories other than, you know, seeing it on paper. So we thought it was a really innovative thing that he and others were doing. You know, it helps judges in the system really understand the SPD's clients better. And it also assists in the negotiating process as well. So most importantly, I think in that system and, you know, the maze of the system that the clients are in, they feel like they're heard and they have a voice and they get their day in court. Chris says it was not in his job description, but he went ahead with the concept anyway. It was trial by fire, he said, and the concept spread slowly through the State Public Defender's Office, and now, as I understand it, it's something they do fairly regularly. It's more common, and I think it leads to better client service and just a better way for those clients to be treated and to tell their story and let it be heard. Chris is here today with us to accept his award. Congratulations, Chris.
Hi, thanks. I'm not used to this side of things, but I want to give a shout out to the public defender, you know, Kelly Thompson and the admin who kind of lets me do my thing. I'm not a lawyer, first of all. I don't even play one on TV. But I feel like our clients don't always get the time that they need with the attorneys and the prosecution, whether they're inclined or not, don't want to dig beyond just the criminal complaint and the discovery. But there's the cases I get, there are people that are right on the edge of prison time where mitigating circumstances could make a difference between probation, say, and being incarcerated. And I look at it, I just go in like I'm a normal person, right? Like I could be on a jury. I look at these cases and I think, okay, here's something here. You know, I don't think they're looking at this. And our attorneys, they have so much to do. They don't have the time always to dig down deep into the clients, you know, their background of trauma or any circumstances that could mitigate what the sentence could be. And I get to go in and talk to people looking like this. You know, I'm not wearing a suit. You know, I go in and I talk to family members and I ask them the hard questions. And I get a lot of good stuff, sometimes that the attorneys don't even get. And that's very rewarding. Just on Tuesday, I had a case. They wanted to give our guy 2 years initial confinement, prison, for some bond violations. And they were dead set on it. His probation officer from before had a thing against him, and I don't know, there's a lot of background there. But we made this video to demonstrate that, you know, they got the wrong picture of him. And so they gave him probation. I just found out on Tuesday, and the attorney thinks that a lot has to do with the video, because the video is basically like a mitigating memo that our client support specialists do. I mean, we do it in paper form. You know, these are all the things. He's good job, good history, whatever. But when you just do it with video, you get a level of emotion that doesn't come out in the documentation. And when you have family members truly, sharing their feelings on, because I say, these are all notes. These are draft notes. They only get what I give them. So say everything you want to say about this. If you feel like it's unfair, if you feel like you're getting railroaded, or if you feel like they're not looking at the whole picture, we get to have the family members. We have other advocates in the community, employers, landlords, anybody who's willing to speak. I've even had victims, victims in a specific case speak to, and which is very powerful. I mean, because when you have a victim saying, I don't think he should go to jail for this, that's very strong. And that was the one on Tuesday that really helped us. I guess it feels good to participate in it, and I appreciate the recognition, but I want to use it to sort of expand it. Judges are starting to get used to this now, and at first they were a little, what is this witchcraft, right? Video, but it turns out they appreciate the succinct nature that we present the thoughts of the family and advocates, right? Instead of having a whole bunch of people speak up in court, taking a lot of time, maybe repetition, I kind of nutshell it down to maybe a 10 to 12 minute video from, to just say, here, this is our client. Consider these things, right? And I like doing it. and I'm hoping to expand it so that when I retire one day, it keeps going. So I guess that's good. And if you have questions for me, you can reach me through the training division at the SPD, Public Defender's Office. And I would say, if you come across any cases or you hear about any that this might benefit, look me up. Right now, I'm just me. I'm hoping to recruit more people eventually to expand it. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Chris. All right, now let's talk prosecutorial reform. Waukesha County Assistant District Attorney Peter Tempelis and his colleagues saw a whole host of issues such as opioid epidemics, domestic violence, healthcare and elderly fraud, and the inability to retain talented prosecutors in the system. So he decided to take all those issues on pretty much one by one. So that's what he did. He addressed the opioid epidemic. He helped create a drug treatment court program for that to address domestic violence. He was dealing with the underlying power and control issues and related challenges to prevent homicides. He addressed healthcare and elder fraud, increasing enforcement capacity and expertise. And to help retain talented prosecutors, he promoted a statewide pay progression plan that was aimed at closing that salary gap. So he saw a lot of problems that he thought had solutions, and he went ahead and worked on doing that. What he did was he looked at the system he worked in, and while he worked in it, and he determined what wasn't working, and then he found ways to make the system better. And that's what we all are here to do in our job. So congratulations to Peter. He is here today to accept the award. Congratulations, Peter. Come on up.
Thank you. So I hail from Waukesha County, and so I'm going to just recognize we're going through a tough time there. So it's Jersey Day in our county, and so I had to get a jersey. My Robin Yount one was packed away, but I went to the basement in our badger room and found it. And I think it's reflective of really the team atmosphere that we work in, and I think that that's collectively in the bar. And so I want to mention that, and I think this is a recognition of that. And so my kids all went to school with jerseys today. Thank you, President Margaret Ryan-Hickey and the Board of Governors, the Communications Committee, Mr. Forward, Ms. Hastings for this award. I'd also like to thank my wife, Ann, our 3 children, Nicholas, Lily, and Eliza, my mom, Jane, my dad, Dr. Larry Templis. He has passed away, but his funeral was 15 years ago today at the Monona Terrace. My siblings, Mindy and Eric, both of whom are Wisconsin prosecutors in La Crosse and Appleton area. My in-laws, Attorney Garrett Reich of Milwaukee and Sheila, our extended family and friends for their love and support. 25 years ago, John Skilton, who's with us in the red tie back there, was not our state bar's president. He penned a President's Perspective article, and he called it Loaves and Fishes. In the article, John explained that as our profession is hounded by claims that it has become uncivil and that our new lawyers lack basic skills and values, we cannot ignore how most of us were really trained. Not by books, not by trial and error, not by CLE programs. John stated we were trained by our mentors. It was the kind of time-consuming, late at night, hands-on, give and take training that cannot be duplicated by quick fixes. He concluded in that article that the legal profession is built by each of us standing on the shoulders of those who preceded us. To me, this award represents those people. It starts with my teachers as well as professors and university staff at the University of Wisconsin-Madison who taught us to engage in fearless sifting and winnowing and taught us how to think like a lawyer, as well as a policy analyst and manager. It also represents those who gave me a chance to attend undergraduate, graduate school, and law school at UW-Madison. I was not somebody that got in the first time or the second time. It represents those who supervised my internships in the office of Governor Thompson on Capitol Square, at Waterman and Associates on Capitol Hill in Washington. They helped solidify my interest in public service. It represents our partners, including law enforcement, who back in Waukesha County are hurting at this time, witness protection investigators, who protect victims of crime, EMS and fire personnel who are also hurting at this time, social workers, victim advocates who are very busy right now. Day in and day out, they show not just skill, but compassion and bravery in working the front lines in our state. They don't work in the courthouse, which has security and is a safe place, generally speaking. They work on the streets hand in hand with people. They make the difference for many in our community, especially the vulnerable. It represents those across the aisle from the public defender's office and the private bar and the civil bar, all of whom represent critically important interests in our society. They represent the right to a defense of liberty. It represents the judges I've had the privilege to appear before. In an adversarial system, they're required to make tough, reasoned decisions regarding those appearing before them, always balancing the law as well as justice and public safety interests. As with defense counsel, we learn from them. And it represents the chief prosecutors under whom I've served. I've had the privilege of serving under J.B. Van Hollen, David Wambach, John Chisholm, Brad Schimmel, and currently in Waukesha County, Susan Opper. It represents my fellow prosecutors in the trench, as well as the DA staff members who every day help us strive to protect the public and do justice. 5 years ago, or I'm sorry, 5 years after drafting his article, John hired me as a litigation paralegal. I had not gotten into law school. The Silicon Valley bubble burst. Everybody was rushing into school to, be somewhere other than trying to find a job in the workplace at the time. It took multiple attempts for me to get into law school. He believed in me. And there's other mentors that also similarly have believed in me. He hired me as a litigation paralegal in his Washington office. I lived out there during September 11th and 2001 to 2002 before I returned and entered the prosecution field. His article was not lip service. It was not lip service. And I read a recent article in one of Mr. Ford's publications about the fact that there are many, many law students interested in public service. But for whatever reason, once they come out of law school, they're no longer interested in it. That's a problem. And the answer to that is mentorship. I had the chance to talk to Dr. Rieselbach from UW Medical School this morning. He was a mentor of my dad's. He's in his 80s. I believe he's 88. And he actually put an award in the admissions office for my dad. And it's the Mentorship and Professional Award. And that's what John Chisholm represented to the bar 25 years ago. He's a 50-year practicing lawyer. And I'm committed, and I hope all of you are committed to continuing that legacy and that effort. This award is a testament to him and all those people I've referenced who have mentored me. This award hopefully represents what we accomplished together. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Our heartfelt prayers go out to the Waukesha County community for sure. I worked at the state bar 25 years ago when John Skilton was the president, and it doesn't surprise me at all that John is still out there 25 years later making such an impact on our profession. John, it's really good to see you here today. All right. We have a Lifetime Achievement winner in our Innovations Awards. This is the 7th year in a row now that we're recognizing a lifetime legal innovator, somebody whose work has left a long-term impact on the profession. This year's winner has a history of more than 20 years combating wrongful convictions and promoting forensic sciences. Keith Finley teaches courses on evidence, wrongful convictions, criminal procedure, and law and forensic science at the University of Wisconsin. He also spent 6 years as an assistant state public defender in both trial and appellate divisions, litigating hundreds of post-conviction and appellate cases. Keith co-founded the Wisconsin Innocence Project with Professor John Prey back in 1998, just the third of its kind in the country at the time. He served as co-director until 2017. He has been senior advisor since then. The Wisconsin Innocence Project is a training ground for criminal defense lawyers. It seeks to exonerate individuals who were wrongly convicted based on faulty forensic science. He served for 5 years as president of the Innocence Network, comprised of almost 70 innocence organizations around the globe. And in 2018, he co-founded the nonprofit Center for Integrity in Forensic Sciences, which works to make criminal prosecutions safer and more reliable. The larger innocence movement has changed conventional wisdom, of course, about criminal justice, and I believe it certainly has opened people's eyes to the systemic nature of error, the ways we can improve the system overall. So after Keith's long and winding journey, we thought that it was time to recognize Keith for all the work he has done and the countless hours that he and many people he has mentored have put in over the course of time to really help change the system and help us recognize some of the flaws in the system and ways we can make it better. At this time, please help me congratulate Keith Findley as our 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award winner and for his commitment and dedication to our profession.
Wow. You know, you're really old when you get a Lifetime Achievement Award. Having reconciled myself to that reality, I want to say that I'm deeply honored and grateful to the bar for recognizing my work today. You know, it's not often that someone who spends his life advocating for people charged with or convicted of serious crimes receives recognition for that work. Way back when I was in the appellate division of the State Public Defender's Office, we had a T-shirt that kind of summed it up. It said, "We're used to bad news." So that really makes it all nicer to get some really good news like this today. So thank you for the award and for the really kind and generous reception you've given me here today. More than anything, I'm grateful for what this award says about the importance of the criminal justice reform causes that I've been committed to. 30 years ago, people largely scoffed at the idea that we convicted innocent people of serious crimes in systematic ways, or that we could reform the system to increase its reliability. Today, largely through the work of innocence organizations, of which I am so very proud to have been a part, that myth of virtual infallibility has burst. And there is at least some openness now to re-examining old ways of doing business and to considering the possibility of error in individual cases. While much work remains to be done, this is real progress. As the study of wrongful convictions identifies recurring sources of error, from eyewitness mistakes to coerced false confessions, reliance on jailhouse informants, flawed forensic science, official misconduct, and the unchecked influence of cognitive biases, recognition of these error points in wrongful conviction cases has shown us a path forward. I'm pleased that my most recent work with the Center for Integrity in Forensic Sciences, which I co-founded with legal all-stars Jerry Buting and Dean Strang, continues the efforts to make the criminal process more reliable for all of us. I'm also very pleased that the State Bar has been such a valuable partner in these efforts, including, for example, working with us to sponsor a Forensic Science Institute this coming January 21st and 22nd, which I hope everyone will attend. This work comes at a time when we're at a crossroads in criminal justice, in which simultaneous recognition of wrongful convictions and mass incarceration, along with gross racial disparity, has created an unparalleled opportunity for reform. I hope this moment is not squandered, that we can work together to undo some of the mistakes of the past that have led to the current crisis of mass incarceration, racial disparity in imprisonment, and wrongful conviction. The work goes on. I'm grateful that the State Bar has taken note through this award and has been and continues to be such a valuable partner in these efforts. So thank you so very, very much.
It's heavy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. So that's it. On behalf of the Communications Committee, as well as the State Bar staff and everyone we worked with, and to the legal innovators, I want to say congratulations to all of you. And finally, I would like to tell you that this project will go forward. This coming year, 2022, if you see any innovation out there, please let Joe Forward or anyone at the State Bar know about it. We hope to be back next year, recognizing some more very talented people who have impacted our profession. Thanks for the time today. Good luck with your meeting, and happy holidays, everyone.
Okay, we're going to skip over number 7 for now. We'll come back to that one after lunch. We're going to move on to the president's reports.
Sorry, I surprised you. Yeah, sorry, no problem.